Hey everybody, getting ready to put these brake shoes on, and this is a Chevy S10 2002. And you might say, why do I need to watch this video? There's lots of videos about installing brake shoes, working with shoes and drums on YouTube, on the internet. Well, I'm going to show you some stuff that is absolutely special to an S10, and I've watched a lot of videos. I never do a job like this if I haven't already watched 2, 3 videos. I don't care, I've changed brake shoes plenty of times, but I don't do it every day. I don't do it every week. I don't do it once a month. The last time I changed shoes was when I replaced, I actually had the drums turned on this Pontiac, and I did the shoes, and had to put in new wheel cylinders. They were leaking, and so that was about a year ago. I get to this, I've forgotten. You forget stuff. But anyways, having said all that, these are basically all the tools I use to do this. And along with all these tools, what I'm saying is I always keep water available and hand soap, because when you're doing this, you do not want to get grease on your hands. And if you do, you got to wash it off, and you don't want to keep running in and out of the house. And, well, I get yelled at if I get grease all over the house. You probably do too. But that ain't what this video is about. Let's stick to the subject. All right. Remember I said, see, here's what I'm talking about. S10, they got these little slugs in here. Right there. I had to take that out. You got to remove that. Now that shows if you got one and it has those slugs but it's missing, that means somebody has been in there before. In this case, this is the first time this has ever been opened up and worked on. And that's at 140,000 miles. So those original GM shoes were pretty good, 140,000 miles. Now keep in mind, I live in what they call the flatland. And so I'm not going up and down steep hills. You live where there's steep hills, yeah, your brake shoes are going to wear out, your drums are going to wear out, and you need to do it a lot more often, but not here. So 140,000 miles. I'm the second owner, and the original owner, he lived here all his life, and he pretty much just drove, he drove to work and back with this vehicle. And when I bought it from him, he had like, I don't know, 108,000, I can't remember. But, so you got to remember to take that out. And here's another trick. All right, first up, you got to take the drum off. Now the drum, I had trouble getting them off, but not a lot of trouble. They came off reasonably easy. I used this, and I used this, and I didn't beat the crap out of it, but I, vibrated it pretty good. And in the end, I used this to pry it off, but I got it off. Just doing that. I didn't have to heat it up. And I watched videos, again, like I said, you got to watch other videos on YouTube, and the people were going in from the back, and they were taking the star wheel and, bringing it down so the shoes would come together. You can't do that on this. And you say, well, you could still punch that thing out. Well, you punched it out. I punched it out from the back using this, but that thing turns up in there, and you can't get it out unless you got everything off. You can't. I had to twist and twist and twist from this side to finally get it out. So it's not like one of those cases where you can't tighten up you can't loosen the star wheel or shrink the shoes in on this particular model unless somebody's already been in there before and removed that. Now, they also say you can take these pins out, try to get them out, and that might help. Drill them out. Yeah, you drill them out from the back side, and that might help you. But we're not going to go any further with that. All right, so again, these shoes, they're CarQuest. Got them at Advance Auto. I'm not knocking them. They're okay. But this particular thing would not fit in. I had to take the rat tail file and file that out. And I carefully filed it. I kept checking and checking because you don't want to overfile and have it in there sloppy either. And that thing's in there nice and tight now. Then this piece here, this little gadget, it has to go through here. It wouldn't. I had to clean it up using a 3/8 inch drill. I could actually do it by hand, and then that happened pretty quick. Then I get all my parts, and I get them pretty much in order here. Cleaned everything up. I took this stuff through an old coffee can, sloshed it around with some gas, and got it nice and clean, because you don't want grease on your hands. When you go to a place and have it done, I don't know, but I know those guys are in a hurry. And even when I do my absolute best not to get grease on shoes and inside the drums, it seems like I always manage to get some. And let's get on with it. All right, if you do have a Chevy S10 and you've managed to, anybody, can tear all this stuff off, it's putting it back on that gets tricky. And like I said, take lots of pictures, draw pictures, whatever you got to do, so that when you go to put it back on. But if you forgot to somehow, this video should help you immensely. And the other side, the driver's side, will be just kind of the reverse, because they are reversed, mirror type reverse, think like that. All right, I'm going to start off getting these hooked up. That means I'm going to have to get this, the pin through this, the other backside coming through to this. And at the same time, I got to catch this in here. It'll be going in pretty much like that. This switch hits against the star wheel, and it's going to be in there like so. And you'll see. Is it on or off?
On. Okay. It's on. Yeah.
Okay. Oh. Not here, but right there. It's just sitting in there, but I'm going to expand it so it fits in there. And I can turn it by hand right now. You can adjust it by hand when you're on the outside until you get to a certain point. Then you're going to have to come in from the back. My fingers. Okay, see, I can turn this by hand, and it's expanding it out. So that then, this here, now I let go, but now it's expanded out. And the last thing I got to put on is this little spring. Okay, I screwed up. Put the spring on first, and then the star wheels last. Have the star wheel completely closed, get it in there, and then open it up like I was showing. You can do it by hand while you're holding this tab up. until you get it to approximately where it was when you took it off. Remember, with the new shoes, it's going to not need to be as tight. Okay, she's in, and she's pretty tight. I'm going to adjust a little bit more because, okay, when I put this drum on, I want it to kind of have to struggle past the shoes a little bit. I don't want to just go, because then it's going to mean more time adjusting from the back. And I hate going under there and adjusting these things from the back, using these, because I always get confused up or down, because each wheel's different because of this, mirror effect. So let's just see how this thing slides on right now. It may go right on, and it may not. Well, I'm going to say that I'd say I got to adjust it out too much. So I'm going to back off on the shoes some. Okay, you see that's going on and off too easy. The reason it wasn't going on was this was actually bounced out and I wasn't paying attention. You got to make sure they're in place before you adjust the star wheel down here. All right, I'm opening up the shoes some. I can turn it with my fingers. It's a little too tight for me to do it with my fingers. And without those plugs out, like I said before, you're never going to be able to do it. Let's see if that did it. All right, I just snugged it up and I got the wheel on, but now it's too tight, so I got to loosen this up a little bit. Okay, I loosened it up a little, and she's still probably too snug, so I'm going to loosen up a little more. What? Yeah, see? She's turning now, but to me it's still too tight. And if you're driving, the shoes are just going to be rubbing against the drum. You're going to have that drag. But I hope this helps somebody if you're working on this, or any car for that matter, especially an S10 though. So, you want this to have, you want it to be a little tight, but you don't want it wearing out the shoes. And thanks for watching, and like and subscribe, and God bless everybody.